You are now listening to Resilience with Dhruti Shah, a podcast that brings you stories of grit and growth from leaders and dreamers across the globe. Stay tuned for today's guest. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Resilience with Dhruti Shah. Today, we are joined by someone whose journey is a true blend of ambition, passion, and purpose, Rachel Shetty. After spending over 2 decades as Senior Director at American Express and leading global diversity initiatives, Rachel decided to take a bold leap into the world of sports, her first love. From guiding the Indian under-19 women's cricket team to their historic World Cup victory to shaping the future of women's cricket in Karnataka, she is continuously redefined what leadership and resilience looks like, both on and off the field. So without any further delay, let's start the conversation with Rachel Shetty. Hi Rachel, thank you so much for appearing in Resilience with Dhruti Shah. It's such a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much, Rati, and it's really a great opportunity to really listen and be part of this program.
Yeah, fantastic. So, Rachel, what's been your story like?
So, my story has been a fantastic journey for me from a very young age. As a young kid, playing a tough game like cricket, which was always a men's game, which helped me in terms of resilience. I mean, those were the days that I think cricket was very difficult for a lot of women to play. We had a lot of challenges, whether it was financial or even the game itself. There's no infrastructure, but all this, I think, a journey that I've had from childhood playing cricket. Those, along with my own story of my mom being a widow at a very young age and sharing, listening to the stories that my mother had to share. And those are things that made such a huge impact for me. So coming through cricket, played cricket for the Karnataka senior team. I played cricket for South Zone, attended Indian camps. It was a fantastic journey, but at certain time of your career, in the early 20s, you then decide yes, what do I do with my career? Because there was no financial backing at all with women's cricket.
And what we see today in terms of women's team, I don't think existed back then, did it?
Absolutely not. So I've seen both sides of it. So I've been part of the financial, thing quite recently, about a year back. But before that, and there was no financials. I mean, we bought our own shoes, we bought our own tickets and unreserved. Nothing bothered us. Nothing bothered us. The passion to play the game. End of the day, it was a passion to play the game. So for me, cricket was the first thing. Second was my mother's, story. When I always feel I should write a book about her, because at a very young age, not from Bangalore, but from Kerala, coming to, to Bangalore, really not knowing the local language very well, building a house where my dad died just when the foundation was put, with 4 children, and sharing stories of the society was not easy on women, young women. I mean, you go to a government office, we all know the challenges that were there those days. There was nothing, that the women could do. But going through those challenges made her so strong. I just lost her in 23. But the learnings that I've had is made me so strong, so things don't really bother me so much. From there, education was something my mom always told us, that education is a wealth that nobody can take it away. So from there, I worked in American Express for about 25 years, both globally and in India, being a senior director. Were there challenges? There were always glass ceiling, as you all know. We all know about things. But should we take that negative or to take that as a challenge? So I would build mentors. I would reach out to certain people in the industry and ask them to be a mentor for me. and then I would be a mentor for many other people. So I think it's very important as women that we also give back. When we get the opportunity, we must also give back and help the younger people to grow. So I think that is something I enjoy. So currently as part of the administration in KSCA, I was heading up their administrative operations in the academy. In KSA, I was a selector previously for the senior women's team. I was also quite recently the under 19 team manager in January 2023 that won the first World Cup in South Africa. Even there, the learnings that you get, because the India under 19 team, the girls are from different places, some of them from very small villages in UP. And the stories that you share, I would take the opportunity to teach them English, because I'm also an IELTS, certified by British Council. So I would kind of teach them, how do you behave, how do you speak? So, and also learning their stories of their parents, allowing them to play the game and how they were at the villagers that thought some of them of the girls were kidnapped, and so fantastic stories. You're talking of also certain communities that would not allow women to play.
Even in today's day and age.
Even in today's day and age. I mean, the parents are very supportive, but you still have the family members that, think differently. So it is the parents that fight the battle. So when they tell us those stories, it's fantastic learning for us, as long as we, even though we have a lot of experience, if we can sit down, and there's a different generation. So if we can open our thing and say, we don't know much, I can learn a lot from them. So my journey all through from very young age has been from playing on the streets with boys, being a tomboy, very much on the streets. Loved my childhood. If God gives me one wish, or nothing, would be like going back to my childhood, being that child that girl that I was. I think that was a fantastic. It was not about financial. It was nothing. But I think having the support system of your family, fantastic friends of cricket, or friends itself. I think resilience is all about balancing that. If you can have the right support structure around you, if you can have that, nothing touches you. Nothing touches. So my childhood has been fantastic, going all the way now. Currently, I teach. I also do workshops. A lot of my things have been, I think my childhood has played a huge role. And today, I kind of, people say how you're across so many things. I don't think about it. I think it is my childhood that has given me the opportunity.
Absolutely. So tell me this, right from playing gully cricket, if I may call it that, to being a senior director with a corporate, to now doing what you're doing and involved in so many different things, but I think with one single focus, which is impacting and elevating lives of others, especially women in sports. What are some of the specific challenges that you faced as you went through these different roles in your life?
I think when we look at challenges and different roles of the life, when you look at it, whether it is in the corporate setting, right? Whether it's in the corporate setting or sports, women can be vulnerable easily. And the young girls, we're talking of the young girls, especially in cricket also, when the young girls are playing and when they lose, or they are the ones that's responsible for the defeat of the team, that is something that they don't know how to overcome that. So if we as women who have had so much of experience dealing with life can take them under you and share some of the challenges that you have also gone through it. So those are I've seen within cricket, that they would come to the room and say, "Ma'am, I'm feeling very depressed." And today, the youngsters, the suicide rates and things are so high. So what I would do is always take them to the room, have a conversation with them, and share stories of resilience. Share that you have to take these challenges, and you have to fight it. And I've seen some people who will maybe they will go down or people talk against them. It's very sensitive. So within cricket, there were a lot of instances I've seen. Today, there are, I'm not going to put names, but there are some people who were not even considered and today is part of the Indian team from Karnataka. It's mainly because we have stood straight. I can't take names because now they are onto the thing, but some of the challenges that we go through, sometimes they may not have financial. Financial also, they will not have things to even have a meal. Many of them, especially when they come from rural settings. So there are times that it's not a big thing for us if we share a meal too. So the challenges are they may not have equipment. Then emotional challenges that they have is the biggest challenge among the thing. And within corporate, I can tell you is I've had a challenge where there was a girl from another community that got married. And, she was told not to work, but she wanted to work. So there was a physical abuse. So I had seen her performance go down from what she was. She was a very good thing. So my job in the corporate was, even though it started at 9 o'clock, I always had a habit of going at 8 with a cup of coffee and going around employees. And, just having a casual chat. Maybe my experience in the US, having studied there, is a little more open here. Here, many leaders are very hierarchical. Whereas for me, it was more like they are under me. If I can be a friend to them, they will give me 150%. So then I realized why did this girl have a challenge? And therefore, I would sit with her and then she expressed, that's when I knew this is the challenge and so I had to encourage her. So challenges I've seen mainly, whether it is cricket or thing, women have a lot of those. And if we are open to kind of share our experience or understand them and do some kind of counseling. For counseling also, you need to have that, you have to be that person. Luckily for me, I think if I was a counselor, I would probably have gone into that field. So the challenges for women, both in corporate and thing, has been around the same, but once maybe financial, emotional. Emotional, I think, is the biggest challenge that women face.
Yeah.
They don't know how to do it. They don't know how to face young people that go through the changes of hormonal. That is the age they're playing. That 19, 16, 19 is a hormonal change. And the other thing is also when we do a rating or a feedback, the feedback, I think here, they don't take it in the right way. What we call negative or a constructive, people have to be open about it. Then you can learn. So that is something we continue to have the challenge, but we express and explain to them that these are opportunities that you don't look at it as a negative thing. Look at it as constructive because all of us have gone through it and try to take that opportunity and learn.
Right.
So these are some of the things I can share.
Yeah. And, being in sports, I think there's also a very clear research that was conducted that there's a lot of impact of physical endurance on mental strength. Have you observed something similar in the journey that you've had?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I mean, physical and mental are connected, because physical also, you need that, you need to have a discipline, right? To get up and do the exercise in the morning. What does that do to your mental space? Right? The mental space is equally connected. You can't be all without stamina, endurance, and all that. Your mind will not feel good about yourself. The minute you feel good physically, I'm not talking of, I'm talking about healthy. If you can do something in the mornings, do your gym, do your walk, whatever small physical exercise, your mental strength for that day, you can see it yourself. You feel so good about yourself. That automatically comes to us. So for me, I would say I think the physical plays a huge role in your mental balancing it. And that is something for me also. I've always followed that. I feel good. The day I do not do even a walk, your mental space is down.
Yeah.
Your mental space is down. You don't feel good about yourself.
That's
so
right.
The huge connect is for all of us to encourage each other that, you know what, get up. The worst day also, get up and go for a 5-minute walk and just check on your mental space. How nice you feel about yourself. I think that is the connect between physical and mental.
Do you have certain rituals that you follow ever since maybe your childhood or something you recently started, or could be a combination thereof, which helps you stay in such a positive space to continue contributing?
Yeah, with physical, I would say is I think right the time I was very young, that has been part of your journey, but part of every day. Even today, I follow that. Maybe it rains, or I will tell myself, no, if I can eat that day, I should be able to walk that day.
Hmm.
If I can say, oh, I'm going to have something and eat, I must, even if it is 15, 20 minutes, you walk. So
Mm-hmm.
that is a discipline, I think, for me that I have, kind of helped. In the US, when I was there, sometimes time crunches are there, and I was in a position that you are in. Sometimes there is those things. I mean, it's not that easy. I've also got away many times. But again, now I've understood how important it is to be physically thing and to how my mental space, I've seen the connect.
Hmm.
So I will make a point every single day, at least 6 days a
Mm-hmm.
week, because seventh day I usually have church in the mornings and things, so that keep it aside. But 6 days, and the other thing is have a support system.
Hmm.
Those you will find fantastic if you have good friends. That support system. I'm very lucky to have kindergarten friends, KG1 friends, third standard friends. Recently, we went to Mysore the other day to see the Dasara. These are KG1 friends. So it's always an encouraging thing to have those friends,
Hmm.
right? Always a positive energy. There are times challenges and we go and say, you know what, today this happened. But the response you get back from your friends is never negative. Who knows you well? But they will say something which, hey, yes, I think something is wrong, that I should have done this better. They will be real to you, right? So I've always seen, I think my friendships that I've had, I have fantastic friends, from childhood that I've always kept. People say, you went to the US, lived there for 25 years. How did you maintain the childhood
Mm-hmm.
friends? I always kept myself connected. I didn't feel like I should disconnect I always. So I think that is what, as we grow older, that friendship, I will say, is the support system that everybody should have,
Yeah. And
especially
especially,
women.
yeah, and I think also in a world which is getting increasingly isolated, with us getting digitized more and
Correct.
more so, I think these physical connections of interacting with people, catching up in person over a cup of coffee or over a
Yeah.
walk, I think
Yeah.
this plays a huge role in building up your resilience as well, because support
Yeah.
system, as you rightly said, is
Yeah.
such a key piece to be able to do that. And I think when we are
Correct.
down the dumps, it really
Yeah.
helps us lift our energy and our morale as well.
Correct. And the other thing is, when friends sometimes, I encourage everyone to keep working, no
Mhm.
matter how old you become. You
Hmm.
don't look at your money, but it really helps all women. The minute you retire and do nothing, your mind gets into a very lonely space,
Yeah.
right? Gets a very lonely space. Quite recently, two of them that I encouraged. One was a head of the department of a big college, retired. And then I know at that time when I encouraged her, don't leave, get into something part time. The response was not the best. The other day, I called her and said, 30 years of experience. What are you doing at home?
Hmm.
You need to push. It's not the money. Do a part time. Next day, she went to three colleges
Hmm.
and shared with me about the responses. And she said, wow, they were so happy I'm bringing this thing. I said, yes. What are how nice you feel about yourself.
Hmm.
So I'm really, that is the kind of friends, right, that we would encourage each one
Yeah.
to go out there and do something with your experience. Mental space is so critical for us as we grow older. As you said, the loneliness will be there because of the digital space that we are in.
Hmm.
It's very important for us to catch up with our good friends. So once a month, I have my childhood friends. We go for a movie. We go to a restaurant to have something. We talk about our childhood. we become that young child.
Yeah.
We do not think ourselves of adults. We
Mm.
think of those days when we wore those, skirts and blouses, and we get completely transformed to that.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of friendships that we share. I don't think anything you can buy with that kind of friendships. So it's very important that women, yes, you get married, and many women lose that connect. We have to ensure that we maintain that connect with our friends,
Yeah.
especially the friends that you feel you're comfortable, you can say anything.
You can
So I think
trust,
I've been
right?
lucky to think, even though trust and say anything. I know tomorrow if I'm in trouble, that person is there for me, and anytime I may be upset about something, I can reach out at any time. I
Yes.
mean, one of my friend is a lawyer and goes to court, high court lawyer. But first thing I will text, do you have a minute? I have an urgent thing. And they will drop everything for you to come out and say, what is it you want? That's
Yeah.
friendship. That's a support system. Every woman I would encourage us, even if it is one friend,
Yeah.
keep the connect. Yes, marriages are going to be there sometimes, people drop after they get married, that they disconnect. Many of them disconnect.
Yeah.
I would always encourage people, please continue to have those friendships from younger days. Today, the new friends we met, yes, they're good, but they never know your background as a young child.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that is something I would definitely encourage people to do it.
Yes. There's one question that's coming up for me, Rachel, as you're speaking about all of this, and maybe I could have started with the question as well. But when you think about resilience, right, and resilience, especially in the sports industry, um, what comes up for you when you think of that? How would you define that?
Resilience from the sports industry started off very early, right? So for women's cricket, when we were young, there were times that we took, unreserved everything. Financial was not there at all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it was mainly what our parents gave it to us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we travel for women's cricket, a simple thing was when we had to get into a train, a big, about 13, 14 of us, because that's the thing. We would go to the railway station, and few of us, and then we would make groups, people that are able to jump into moving as the train comes into the platform,
Mm-hmm.
and never thought about the danger. Never thought about the danger. Jump into that and pretty much lie down on the thing. All those things that makes you, as when you were young, you never thought, why did I do it? Why did not they pay for it? Another story I have to share is when we were in Delhi, 3 of us had gone for the Indian camp. On a return back, we missed the train. So we were sleeping on the platform, right, on
Wow.
the Delhi platform.
Wow.
So, we didn't think anything different because we had our sleeping bags and we put it there and we slept. Came, around 6:30 in the morning, all of a sudden it was a bucket of water on us, right?
Gosh.
And so when we look, it was the chai guy. It was his space we had occupied.
Oh, wow. And he wanted you
So,
to get out of there.
and he wanted to get out. I'm talking about, things that you do when you were young, the challenges that you had and didn't think anything different.
Mm,
We did those things because we loved the sport and we
mm.
wanted to play the sport. We
Yeah.
never realized anything else. I think sometimes you say ignorance is a bliss. That is true for things. So, those are some of those examples I can think about which could have been dangerous for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But did we think about it? No, until the water came on us. And we got up, we took a sleeping bag, and we went and sat and waited for the next train. It was just, but it was okay. How were we able to do it? Because we had built our resilience right from before.
Mm.
Playing the game, training hard. In the stadium, we were, those days never had turf. We had just the mat to play, and the mat had a hole right in front of where you would, bat, right there. And then we would take the mat every day. It was 2 different people. Everybody was assigned that role. So we would carry the mat, 2 of us or 3 of us carry the mat to the ground from that shed and roll it there and then hammer it and play the game after the
Wow.
ball and bat in the hot sun. come back home, studies. And I went to NPS, which was a tough school.
Mm.
So I went to NPS, but they were extremely flexible with me. And I think I was the first person to have played for the state team. And then go back in the evening, back to the stadium, do the same routine, have practice, everything. Never complained because I think you did think along those ways. These were opportunities for us.
You didn't think in terms of obstacles, you thought in terms of opportunity, which is what
Opportunities.
got you go.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
got you going.
So cricket for me, I think, the challenges that we've had, just playing the game,
Mm.
playing the game. And never did we think anything different. Today, people have all kinds of, oh, that's not there, this and all. We never thought about it. We
Mm-hmm.
just played, and then when tournaments came, we all just put money together, bought the ticket, went, played, felt good about it, and came back.
Yeah.
So I think all these are stories I can share. It's been fantastic journey for me, a fantastic journey of childhood, playing
Mm.
cricket, school, playing on the streets. All that has been a thing. Today I kind of share these when I teach.
Yeah, I'm sure. Oh, and I'm sure a generation gets inspired when you talk about all of this. And
Yeah,
some may be able to relate to it, some not so much, but I think the learning remains in that sense.
correct.
Also, Rachel, how did you, train your mind to not give in when you had to make so many switches? Because, I'm pretty sure it was not as easy as you make it sound. Giving up on your passion just because the opportunities were not there, and then getting into the corporate world, which is a whole different ball game, simply because the opportunity did not exist. So how did you remain strong through all of this?
I think it is also that when I was a young child, my grandparents being mainly teachers,
Hmm.
it was always put into my mind. My mom had always put that education is a wealth that nobody can take away from you, right?
Right.
That was kind of instilled into your brains. So
Hmm.
when I came at a stage and I saw, now what? I finished cricket and now what? I did my master's. But I saw that the opportunities were either in railways
Mm-hmm.
or in Canara Bank. Two
Mm-hmm.
options.
Mm-hmm.
Really not on a higher level. I
Mm.
wanted to do much more beyond that. I didn't want to be sitting in this thing
So you were
because for
always
me,
ambitious. You were always
I was
ambitious.
very ambitious. Yeah, I
Yeah.
figured that no, I want to go study, do
Mm.
my MBA. And in fact, I am a little disappointed I did not do a PhD, even though I had a mentor, because by that time my husband came and I had to find a job to support. So that is a challenge that I've had, which is okay. I think I got other opportunities.
Mm.
So these are some of those things that challenges come, but it's the way we look at it.
Mm.
If you can train your mind to say, oh, yeah, it came. But what is the solution? Always look at things not as problems. What is the solution? That
Mm.
has been part of my life, always. What is the solution? Because I can sit there and be angry about it and
Yeah.
waste my entire day over it. Or I can look at the problem and say, now what is the solution?
Yeah.
Right? So for me, my mind has been like that. What is my solution? So when I moved from, I was a little upset about leaving cricket,
Mm.
but then it was, no, I want to be in Wall Street. My ambition was that. I want to be
Okay.
carrying that. I want to be going to an office in Wall Street, which I
You
did.
visualized it. You kind of
Yeah,
visualized yourself
visualize. That
doing
was
a
it.
certain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would look at some of those things and say, wow, I like to be that person.
Mm.
And I worked towards a dream, and my office was on Wall Street.
Well, there
One
you
of
go.
the
You
offices was
manifested
Wall.
it.
Yeah. So it just, I think many times you have to dream and dream big.
Yeah.
Don't restrict yourself. Dream big and try to get it. For me, then when I was walking down Wall Street towards American Express office there, and I would just look at myself, I said, a simple girl that was in Bangalore, that never thought ever that I would remain there, but I had the opportunity to do that.
Mm.
So any girl, anyone that is coming up, we should look at, don't get step back when there is a problem.
Mm.
When there is a problem, two choices. You can go back and grumble and sit there in that space for a long, waste your life.
Yeah.
Second choice, look at a solution.
Yeah.
If you can look at a solution, see the growth that you will have.
Yeah.
So that is where I think for me, my childhood played a huge role of looking at things as a solution rather than just looking at it as a problem.
And you've
It's not.
always been like this since the time you remember.
You've always been like that, yeah.
Mm.
No matter how difficult a situation, I think I've been like that. A lot of it is when you grow up, if you had a fantastic childhood of support system, your family, your friends, you become that part,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of it. So children also should be encouraged to, even in the college when I teach, many people may not get the best marks, but I would always say, don't worry about it. Work towards the strength. You have so much strength. Work towards it. There are some students that can only speak in Kannada in sports management, and people make fun of it. Today's, students are not easy, right? They make fun of them. So I would make them and say, no, if you want, you speak in Kannada. It's okay. Because end of the day, they will go to their games. They will go sports management jobs into their games. So if we can kind of train people, youngsters' mind to not look at problems as problems, but opportunities to learn and solutions that you can get. I think for me, I've been lucky because of maybe my support system as a young kid has helped. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. Rachel, any final words of advice that you would want to give to our listeners when it comes to building resilience? You've already shared a treasure trove of your experiences, the stories, and the outcomes as a result of that, of your mindset. But anything in particular that you would want to share? One final advice.
My final advice, definitely to all of them, is resilience is so important. Creating the balance between whether everything in your life, create that balance, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, financial, also very important. If you can create that balancing and create a life where you start your day by doing something physical that flows on to something, your mental space, then try to learn every day.
Yeah.
Something. There are so many fantastic free courses. If you look at it, right? People don't do it, are not aware of it. There are courses like Coursera. I spend an hour every single day to learn something different because today we have the net. So my final advice is like, everyone should spend 1 hour for themselves on reading any subject, anything that is interesting for you. Spend an hour on a physical exercise that translates to your mental.
Yeah.
And think of everything positive. Ask yourself, oh, wow, today I'm alive. I've got everything. Put that mental space of feeling blessed that you have everything. Yeah. Emotionally, always human beings, first thing you go towards the negative. Pull yourself back and say, you know what? I know I can do it. If you can do that, I am sure I can do it. Just train your mind to that. Every single person should do that. Train your mind to be positive. And we can do it. So my advice is just create that balance of resilience. I think we will go a long way with a very positive attitude and energy around us.
And will end up inspiring maybe a generation like you are.
People, and people will be around you. Who likes to be around negative people? Nobody. Right? So when you are positive and think, you'll have 10 people around you because they want that. And stay away from negative people. They will pull you down. So choose who you go with.
Yeah.
Choose who you go with. Very important.
That choice again.
The choice is yours. The choice is yours to be with somebody that is positive and to build your positive thing in life. And the choice, make the choice. Yeah. I would go, if I were to think, I will go with the positive.
Yeah.
I will go with the positive.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rachel. It's been a fantastic conversation. I did not realize where time flew. Thank you so much and so inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shruti. Such a wonderful to be on this platform, and hopefully it will touch at least one person.
Oh, I'm sure it will. Many more.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. Hey, so let's have a word with Ramina, our producer, and see what she has to say. Hey, Ramina.
Hey, Shruti. Hi, listeners. Nice to be back.
Yeah, and Ramina, as you know, before I really interview our guests, I do have a conversation with them to get a sense of who they are, what they can bring in terms of story. And for me, what really stood out when I was having that conversation and recording the podcast was the audacity with which Rachel has approached her life, challenging the norms, challenging the status quo, doing exactly what she needs to do without compromising on her values and, the customs and traditions that we may follow. She's done all of that. And it's such a pleasure to speak with her. What did you think of the conversation?
Yes, Dhruti, completely agree with you. It was amazing. It was really inspiring to listen to a story, to listen to Rachel. I particularly also would like to call out how she stresses on the importance of having the right people around you, having the right support system. Because as we know, resilience does often come from those strong internal connections. I mean, it's the strength within us, but that also depends upon the strength around us, right? So I think that was really well called out, Ruti. And maybe another thing which did kind of leave a resounding impact with me was her belief that physical strength fuels mental strength. I mean, when she says, if I'm able to eat that day, you should be able to walk that. I mean, so simple yet so powerful, right?
Completely agree, 100% with you. What also, where I connected with Rachel as a guest was also when she mentioned that she visualized herself walking the streets of Wall Street before she actually did it, right? So, and I think that is such a powerful thing, because I remember doing that when I was pretty young, and I'd visualized myself in a certain way. Maybe took a decade longer than what I had originally intended to get there, but I eventually did, right? And I think that's the power of visualization. And if you truly believe in your vision of yourself, resilience becomes automatic, because you don't give up, come what may, because you have such a strong belief system that pursuing your passion, staying grounded, everything that Rachel truly encapsulated in the stories that she shared is all about it, right? And she did it with so much grace, with so much humility. And that's really what stood out for me in this particular interview with Rachel Shetty. So listeners, I hope you've had a great time listening to this podcast as well. We'll keep bringing you new guests every episode to keep your resilience going and to keep you motivated and inspired. So until I see you again, this is Dhruti Shah signing off. Take care. Bye-bye.